Good morning, everybody. I'm going to start your Monday with some soulful inspiration with transformative life coach, Cathy Heller, who truly is a woman that I've been following for years, who fills my bucket. Her words are soulful and real, and she is just such an inspiration. And she's here in the flesh, and you are incredible. And I'm so happy that you're here.
I love you. You're like magical stardust. Your signal is so powerful and gorgeous and strong, and it like awakens all these women to find that inside themselves. It's great. It's so great.
It's what you do. And having you here, I mean, this is what the show is all about. I bring in people here who inspire, who empower, and you really live your life. You are just authentic and you're real in everything you do. And you've dedicated your life to really just empowering women to live their best lives, to not cut themselves short. Like you just walked in and someone commented about your shoes and how they wanted to buy those shoes, but that those shoes didn't suit them. And you said, what do you mean? Go buy 2 of them. That's just who you are. You're constantly telling people to live their best life. But I just want to know where it all starts, Cathy, because honestly, like I want to wake up in the morning. I want to do my meditation. I want to start with the positive, affirmations. I can't do that all the time. I just can't. I can't find the time. Where does it all start? Where does all your goodness and inspiration start from?
Oh my gosh. That's a great question. And everything you said is just so loving and kind, and I receive it. So here's the thing. You just said, I don't have the time, right? But you can't afford not to have the time. So let's flip it around. It doesn't really take time. It takes the switch of the intention. So I say to people, if you can give me 90 seconds in the morning, the same way you choose your clothes every day, like we were just talking before we hit record on like, it's beautiful to like choose different threads. In fact, different threads hold different vibrations and energies. Everything is vibration. The same way you selected what you were going to wear today, because it makes you feel a certain kind of feeling, you're going to select how you want to feel for the day. And so you're going to close your eyes every morning for 90 seconds and say, what would ease feel like? What would joy feel like? What would love feel like? What would it feel like to play? Because most people are constantly trying to figure it out because we're so married to the idea that this is supposed to be hard work. So that's how people live these really intense lives that they're trying to constantly figure out and predict, and they're in this like ordinary form and function. Or you can choose the extraordinary, which is just walking into the mystical every day, which is synchronicity. And that's going to happen from the opposite of trying to figure it out, but from the frequency of receiving.
Right.
So that's the whole video game we're playing, is to let it be easy. It's kind of like, how good can you stand it? How much joy can you receive? How much play can you receive? That's what's really happening here.
Right. So what you're saying is, in order to be able to receive and elevate your frequency, you need to start with 90 seconds of asking yourself, what does it feel like to feel joy?
Yeah, because most of what's happening in your brain is not real. I sort of explain it like when I started studying meditation, my teacher said something, I think it's really helpful. If you were to look at the ocean and you were looking at the ocean from standing on the shore, you would say the ocean is frenetic, it's always moving, it's choppy, it's sort of waves, right, that are responding to the weather. But anyone who goes into the ocean, if you go down, you go down 10 feet, you go down 40 feet, you could go down a mile. The ocean is so still. It's like deafeningly quiet and heavy and at ease, like so much so that you could burst your eardrums. It's like a vacuum of movement. So that's how we are. So most of the time we're relating to ourselves from the waves, which are just the sort of like, it's all the muck and the fog of fear and shame and doubt that the amygdala, which is, it really loves you, your fear, your ego, it wants to protect you. So it's just constantly swimming in cortisol. But cortisol is very addictive and it floods the brain so you can't see clearly. But if you were to take 90 seconds and go down into the ocean of what's inside of you, the sanctuary within you, it's always a breath away. And from there you can see clearly. And from there you come back to the oneness, which is like, the ego has a story of separation, but like if everything's made of vibration, then you're not you and I'm not me, we're just us.
Right.
So that's really what Einstein said, is that we perceive the world in 3 dimensions, but that's not true. The world is all vibration and atom is mostly energy. So there is no separation. There's no separate one wave ends and one wave begins. So then we can kind of go into okay, so this is all about elevating my frequency so I can just bump into the blessing.
Right. Which is why when you walk into a space, I'm so drawn to you. It's because of your vibration. It's because of your frequency. It's so elevated because of who you are that I just want more of you. And when we become that way, people will want more of us and things just continue to open.
Right. That's right. When I was living in Jerusalem, so I grew up totally secular. I knew nothing about spirituality, nothing about religion, nothing. And I wound up going on the very first Birthright Israel trip. I wasn't even going to go, but my friend was like, just go. It's a free trip to Jerusalem. It's New Year's. It was Y2K. It was like we were there for January 1st of 2000. We were there for that New Year's trip. So we went and it was great, but I didn't have that spiritual teaching. It was just like like being in the land. And then on the very last day of the trip, there was a class and it was taught by this like guy who had been a Buddhist, rabbi, therapist, Jew, like all those things. And I was like, that sounds interesting. And he put the word Shabbat on the board. And he said, the first time the word Shabbat, which is the Sabbath, is used in the Torah, in the Old Testament, is when Abraham is meditating. And he says, so when Abraham meditated, God appears. So he said, really the idea is that 24 hours out of your week, you get still so that the veil comes down and the divine, which is inside of you and all around you, like appears to you. So I said, what is this? So I came back. I thought I was going to go back for the summer. I stayed for 3 years and I met this incredible rabbi who's my teacher, Rabbi David Aaron. I talk about him all the time on my show. He's featured in my book. He's like the Jedi, teacher in my life. And he said to me that the word Kabbalah comes from the word likabel, which means to receive. And so it's not about the law of attraction, it's the law of reception. And so everybody's a radio and the music is always here. Like right now, if I had a radio, right, the music is here already, hidden in plain sight, but I need a certain frequency to allow myself to receive that frequency. And then you can tune the radio to different places. That's literally what's happening. And so the more we are available for more expanded consciousness, more joy, then the synchronicity it just shows up. You don't have to do much.
That's so beautiful because so many women now, especially, I would call myself, I'm now midlife, okay? So many women. You're younger than I am.
I'm 44. That's like right in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, so midlife, which is a crazy thing to say, right? But I mean, this is what you do for a living. So you hear it all the time. Women come to you every day and probably say, Cathy, I want to find purpose. I don't know my purpose. I don't know where to go from here. And you're just saying to quiet your mind and let yourself receive it all. It'll all come to you. But if we don't allow ourselves to be quiet, like go to the bottom of that ocean and allow ourselves to receive, we won't know what our purpose is. We won't be able to achieve all the things that we could possibly achieve.
I will also say that we're so bought into certain systems of what achievement looks like. Yes. The Torah says that the world is standing on 36 hidden tzaddikim. 36 righteous people are like shaking the heavens, like actually keeping this world spinning. People ask me all the time, what do I need to do? I want to achieve that. What do I need to do? And the better question is, who do I need to be? It's the being. It's the resonance, right? When you walk into a guitar store, if there's 50 guitars on the wall and you take one guitar down and you pluck the C string on this guitar, the C string on every other guitar vibrates just because it's in resonance. So resonant people are moving the field. In fact, we can measure that now. So when I was studying at UCLA, you can actually see it. If you were to take a stone and throw it into the water, it'll make a little ripple. But if you were to take a really big boulder and throw it into the water, it makes a bigger ripple. So when we have a coherent, open-hearted, joyful, loving energy, we make a ripple that actually goes out 9 meters. And so we're impacting the whole ecosystem, right? What Rabbi Aaron says, you're someone because you're some of the one. So you're in this oneness, right? So as one wave rises, the whole. So the achievement thing is like, where are you headed? Where are you going? What are you rushing to? Like the idea is your job is to open your heart. The most powerful person is the most loving person. That's it. So you're already fulfilling your purpose when you open your heart. That's it. And there's an infinite amount of ways that you will find that you're needed every day to touch someone else's life. People think they're here to like change the world. My rabbi says you're here to change the world for one person every day because each person is a world. And sooner or later you start to realize, oh my God, I can change the world for like 6 people every day, you know? And the first person whose world you need to change is your own. And from there, it's like,
wow. Wow. I mean, you're just like speaking to me, and I'm physically feeling your energy. Like it's such a beautiful thing because your heart is so open, because of who you are, because your teachings and everything you say is just so real. It's so authentic. You're living it every day. Like I asked you, I said, so like, what are you, like transformative life coach? You're like, no, I just am. I just am.
I'm not even trying to be pretentious about it. I just don't call myself anything, and I don't know what to call myself. I just hang out. But it sounds like I'm trying to even be like humble bragging. It's like, you're right. I don't know. I don't identify so much with this avatar that I'm playing.
Well,
I just want to serve the creator.
And you are, but that's what you're doing.
So are you.
But that's what you're doing.
You're so good at it.
If we could all
and you're such a great mother. PhD, hashtag mother goals.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure your kids are just above and beyond incredible human beings because of who you are.
Thank you.
And first and foremost is mom. I mean, for me, there's nothing more important than my family. They're first and foremost. So like who they are and the vibrations they feel and how they feel, for me, is more important than anything else or anyone else I can help. Because how we raise them is going to really spread that seeds around the world and all of that good stuff. But
so true.
But I think so many of us are struggling right now in so many different ways with the world because there's so much darkness. Personally, because of achievements, there's so much going on. And you just seem to just be like, it's all good. It's all going to be okay. Even though I know you feel the pain and I know you feel and you feel it deeply because you have such an open heart.
And okay, so this is why learning Torah is such a good idea, because there's so much wisdom, right? And things that stand the test of time, they prove to be essential. So for instance, like in Judaism, the day begins in the night. If you look at Bereshit, if you look at the first book of the Torah, God creates darkness before light, which means light is darkness is the beginning of light. So really, and everything has equal contrast. So everything that's in the sun has an equal shadow. Mm-hmm. So we can look at it in one way and see the darkness, but the intensity of the darkness means that there's only that much equal light. In fact, Rav Dessler, who is like a Musar type of rabbi, says that every one of us has what's called a nikuda bechira, like a point of free will. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of things you're not using your free will for. Like you're not going to murder somebody today. You don't have to think about it.
Right.
You're beyond that, right? Mm-hmm. But there's little moments in our individual lives where we're like, that's where my free will is. Am I going to eat that sugar? Like I have to use my free will to choose, because other things are just not a choice. You're not going to steal. That's not even a question.
No.
You're beyond that, right? But there's little things. Am I going to raise my temper? Am I going to get short with this person? Am I going to be impatient? Oh my God, I'm doing it again. I have to, right? What he says is, in order for us to utilize and to activate our free will, there has to be an equal amount of darkness and light. Because as soon as there would be more light, then it becomes obvious what to choose. Right. And that's literally the game we're playing, right? And so there's nothing new. Like you could look at any point in history and you're going to be able to point to gorgeous things that are happening and horrendous things that are happening. That's not new. In fact, if anything, there's so much consciousness right now that the darkness is even more dysregulated.
I love that. You'll find the positive to everything.
But literally, I mean, you walk into a bookstore, the biggest section is the self-realization, the self-help. There's a yoga studio on every corner. Like people are so available for these quantum shifts. No one was talking about that 50 years ago.
Not at all.
We're just literally like the amount of consciousness, the amount of light is so bright that it has to be.
Yes.
For the world to be the world. There's going to have to be an equal amount of consciousness.
No, you're absolutely right. Because growing up, there was none of that around. But there were also not thousands of people screaming and creating encampments and telling my daughters that because you're a Jew, you can't come into this space, or I hate you because you're a Zionist, or that also with this young people who used to, I would think, encompass light, are really they're just not there. Their consciousness isn't there, right?
Yeah, well, it's a both and, right? For all those people, there's also everybody else. But I think part of it is we want so much to be part of the oneness. You know, our favorite part of going to a concert is when everybody puts up their lighters and you stop feeling like you and a stranger and you're all just one. Mm-hmm. So people look for a lot of ways to belong. So actually inherent in that is a good thing. It's that we just have to direct it to what's really about oneness and what's really about positivity. And we have to keep educating ourselves, because Rabbi Aaron said, like, imagine two leaves on the same tree that are arguing. They're part of the same tree. There is only oneness. So it's like we need to look deep into each other's eyes, be like, look at me, like I am you, you are me, we're from the same source. There is only one ocean. And what's so powerful, I put this in my book, part of the reason people don't know this, that Judaism is so small compared to other religions, right? There's about 2 billion Muslims, there's about almost as many Christians, right? There's 15 million Jews. Why is that? We don't convert people. Why is that? Because we believe everybody's already inherently connected to the divine. You don't have to be Jewish. In fact, this is a really beautiful point Rabbi Aaron makes. Oneness is not sameness. It's the opposite of sameness. Oneness is everything on the periodic table of elements is all different, but it's all one. An orchestra has brass instruments, wood instruments, and they're not supposed to be same. The oneness is that there's a harmony, that each individual one creates the oneness of the all, because it's supposed to be different colors of this frequency of light, like red, orange, yellow, green. We're not supposed to be same. And so that's inherent in Judaism. The big mic drop of Abraham was God is oneness. We are all one, right? And when you close your eyes, you see so much further than with your eyes open. So we have to keep seeing and knowing what that is. And every time we sort of listen to anything that's about separation and control, when people get angry and controlling, control is fear.
Yes.
When people are, it's like the King Solomon story, right? Where they're like, which is the mother? You know, there's these two mothers who say the baby is their baby. And eventually King Solomon says, fine, we'll cut the baby in half, right? As like a joke. And the mother who says, don't cut the baby, he goes, you're the mother, right? So there is a way in which it's so obvious when you're really looking through the eyes of love, which is the only truth there is, it's obvious where the resonance is. And that's all you have to do, is keep seeing that and knowing that. And then that's the only thing that ultimately helps elevate everything else. Like, you don't need to give a lot of attention to resistance. There will always be resistance. In fact, you know what's so great about resistance, whatever the resistance is? Contrast like that, it creates your preference. It shows you, it's like, if you have these two riverbanks, it shows you how to get back to the middle.
Right.
So in a way, it's always a blessing to have these extremes, because then you get back to like, oh, this helps me see, this being triggered is good. It's good for me, because it like October 7th created so many Zionists, so many, like that's what happened. So it's like, there's always the contrast creates, you know, people out of nowhere were like, oh my God, I know that like I'm Jewish, but I'm not connected. All of a sudden they're like so Jewish, right?
Right.
So it depends what lens we're looking at, but there's also a way in which, you know, the mission, our mission is the mission of oneness, and is the mission of teaching everyone that we all have a piece to play here and everybody's needed. We need to do our job. And that's a little bit of what this is also about. Like, we need to be louder and more coherent as a oneness and as in our own unity, and be a light.
And maybe that's what you just nailed, which is the messaging is about just oneness and being louder about that, because that's just the truth. And everything you say is all based fundamentally in Judaism, all of it.
I have no other source.
That's it. That's amazing.
Nothing else is that interesting.
But look at that. All the light that you bring into every space, all the teachings that you're spreading to thousands of women around the world, all come from your learnings of Judaism.
It's the greatest honor in the world. When I was in Israel, I learned there for 3 years, and I came back and said, I learned enough to know how much I don't know. Like, I learned just enough to know I got nothing. And just the little pieces of it are so mesmerizing. They speak for themselves. Like, if I share it with people, I had Deepak Chopra on the show, and the first time we met, I said, what's the meaning of life? And he said, the Ein Sof. It's Hebrew. He said, the endless light. He said, Kath, you know this. He said, but you are the divine pretending to be a person.
Wow.
So, you know, the more you meditate and the more you open your heart, that world of oneness is so much more real than everything else. And you memorize how it feels. And then your life starts to reflect that. And it's so easy, and it's such a miracle, and it's such a gift. The bottom line is we're each a vessel to receive the light and to be a conductor of this gorgeous goodness. It's very difficult for the ego to receive and just swim in the oneness because it wants to be in control. And ego, by definition, is the separation. It's trying to be, it's the small s, the small self. It's trying to be in control. And there's only one self. There's only one someone. It's the sum of the one. So there is a way in which we can talk about the world out there and changing the world when really it's like, how's it going in your living room? Mm-hmm. How's it going in your car on the way to work? How much peace is there inside of you? How much peace is there in here? And then that's what it's reflecting. It's the, I don't feel connected to God, to the divine, to oneness, and I'm feeling really disconnected, and I'm going to be really loud about that, and then talk about how I should try to push a way to like almost like make a point about that. And it's like, you're headed the wrong way.
It's amazing because you are so clear in who you are and how you see the world that all of the craziness out there is not affecting you on the inside because you know better than that.
Yeah, because it's not
incredible.
It's not surprise, like it doesn't surprise me. You know, I heard Dennis Prager say the other night, he was like, it doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is when someone's really conscious and coherent and loving. I'm like, that's awesome, you know, because the ego is very, like most of the time within 4 seconds of waking up, people feel fear, separation, doubt. Well, that just leads to a lot of confusion and a lot of dysregulation. So that's what's more predictable. And that has nothing to do with anything. Like, even if there wasn't, my daughter's reading The Outsiders right now. Mm-hmm. She's like, Mom, you know, these ones are against these ones. It's like, you wouldn't, if you take any group of people, it doesn't have to be that they're different countries, different religions. Take a 6th grade class. Mm-hmm. They'll do it amongst themselves. Mm-hmm. It's ego. Like, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, so it's like, that's not new. Right. That's your own fight against yourself, surrendering this need to try to be significant by being someone separate from the one. All the significance is in setting that down. The most impressive people make other people feel seen. Yeah. There's nothing impressive. Like, no one's impressive. Not where you went to college, not what you're wearing. What's impressive is when someone says, you have great energy. What does great energy mean? You just connected me back to my energy because we have the same energy because we come from the same source. When you said before that really gorgeous, beautiful thing to me, like, you give me this energy, it's because if I'm open to what's actually here between us and that's moving through both of us, it just leads you back to your own Wi-Fi. That's the most powerful thing in the world. If everyone really got that, they wouldn't have to work so hard.
That's it. I mean, you just said all the answers are all just right there, but it's true. And I could guess that you never wake up touching your phone. I'm assuming that you are not that person that will ever wake up and look at your phone right away.
I mean, not right away, but I obviously look at my phone. The phone is very intense. It's like literally created to make us addicted to it. But let's put it this way. In my morning, there's a meditation.
Yes.
I don't start my day without that.
And before you sleep?
There's some version of that. Look, when we wake up in the morning, we say Modani. We thank God for returning our soul to our body. But what's amazing about that prayer is the end of that prayer is, thank you for having the faith in me, right? Because the idea is the fact that we are knowing that we're needed, it's huge. We don't know we're needed. We don't know. Everybody's chasing fame because what they really want is significance. Mm. You are significant. You just don't know it. Right. And then people think they have to do certain things to make themselves significant. You are significant. You are needed here. There's a reason you're waking up every day. Out of all these, 8 billion people, he added you to the equation.
That's right.
Why?
That's right. And it's as simple as waking up and saying the Modani, which is just gratitude, having that gratitude. And again, you're just such a beautiful, when I say power player and influence, because you're creating so much light in the world with your influence, which to me is the greatest gift in the world, that you really were put on this earth to do that, and you are doing it. You're living that. You're living your mission. You're sharing your gift with the world, and that all of that stems from your Judaism, to me, is just so beautiful, because whether you're Jewish or not, you don't have to be Jewish to study Kabbalah and Judaism. It is just it amplifies everything you're feeling. It changes your life for the better. It makes you Cathy Heller.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I say to people, if you want to have a great day, spend 90 seconds, select how you want to feel the way you select your clothes, memorize it. How does it feel? How does ease feel in your body? How does it feel to open your heart today? But then I say, invite God to a meeting and just say, God, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? You'll hear an answer. There's a lot going on in here, but there's only one answer in here. And the answer is so obvious when you listen. And then you come home to this present moment where there's just so much to swoon over, like the 19 shades of gray or green outside your window, and the clouds and the textures. And when was the last time you ate something and actually ate it and looked at somebody when you're talking to them and you're actually present, not in the future, not in the past? There's just so much of our own coming home to the moment. You wind up realizing this is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and you get to be in it every day.
Wow. You truly are a tremendous, tremendous light in this world. I really feel honored to just be in your presence.
I feel the same way about you. I really, really do. I would not just say that. I find you to be this exquisite, like princess vibes, like royalty vibes, like an elevated, sophisticated moonbeam that brings us all back to that frequency. Right? Because we are the daughters of the king. And there's so much in claiming that. Yeah. You know, women will say to me all the time, like, who am I to do this? I'm like, who are you not to do that?
That's right.
Do you understand? You get, like, really what's happening here? Like, you're needed here. Who are you not to do that? Rabbi Aaron says everybody's born with, let's say, a bag of stuff, and something in the bag is broken, which is beautiful. That's what you're here to fix. Yes. But something is, like, extraordinary. Mm-hmm. And you have to own both. You have to let go of the shame about what's broken. We all have something flawed. It's what makes us awesome. In fact, my friend who's a screenwriter said, if you want to make the audience hate someone in a movie, make them perfect. If you want the audience to love the character, make them flawed. Right. We're all flawed. It's what's gorgeous about us. But also we have to own, oh my God, there's this thing I just do well. It's a gift. Just say thank you and use it. You bring that out of people.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait for your book in December.
Me too.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Leave us with one bit of advice. Look in that camera. Tell everybody one thing you want to share with them today before you leave.
You are a masterpiece. You're a piece of the master.
Wow. Cathy Heller right here live in the studio. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the great work that you do.
Thank you. I receive it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you all next time right here on Moms Matter.